Everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Anetta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we're shipping out today on Thursday, so just another pretty decent, like a December day. Nothing too crazy yet, so we'll see as the days keep going. All right, so the first thing is going to be a board game by Czech Games Edition right here. They do a lot of good board games. This is Letter Jam. This is sealed. So I actually have like a story. Normally, like I up talk games, and there's a lot of games I enjoy. This is the only board game I've actually played. I was demoed at a convention for like over an hour. I literally didn't understand it. Like I couldn't even explain to you. I don't even think it's like a complicated game. I just think maybe the teacher was bad at explaining it. And then I played with a couple people who like played the game before, and they were kind of like trying to teach me strategy rather than the basics. So like I was super confused. All I remember is like it's a game where you're trying to like spell a word. I think you're like co-op, but I think there's also like individual points. So you're still trying to like trick people in a weird way. And then you are, so the part about the game that I didn't understand is you're allowed to misspell stuff as long as you can like convince other people that you misspelled something correctly. So there's a point in the game I was getting frustrated, and I'm like, I think this person like spelled the word wrong. Like, how is no one seeing this? Like, how is no one understanding? So you're not supposed to obviously go on your phone and like look up how to spell stuff. I was like, you know, I'm going on my phone. I was like, yeah, this word's spelled wrong. And they're like, oh no, that's like someone later on told me like after the game, they're like, oh, that's the point of the game. I'm like, why was none of this like described? It was just a bad experience, but the company is pretty good in general. Usually people are volunteers when they go explain games and stuff. But yeah, that was just a bad demo. That's the most I know about this game. I do know people like it. It's just the literal only game that I've ever like played, and I didn't understand it. All right, so this one, after all that whole ramble, this sold for $16.88. I had multiple of these at one point. This is the last one. Someone who owns a board game store is actually going to drop ship this to someone else, and then they bought it from us. Our cats are making a big mess with the Christmas tree right now. It's kind of hilarious, but I'm going to move on and try not to be distracted. So yeah, someone ordered this from us and asked us if we could ship it to someone else, so we're going to do that. So like that's pretty good of them to like, I guess, like drop ship to someone else. That means that game's probably not like hasn't been reprinted in a bit. That is the last copy that I sold. I have sold a bunch before. $16.88. All right, moving along, we have two choose your own adventure. These are the marathon race mystery and then mystery at the ball game. So these are going to be like kind of like some sports ones or something like that. These ones were not super popular because I got a bunch of choose your own adventure books. These ones just happen to not be as expensive as the others. These two sold for $9.44. All right, moving along, we have a Heckler Goros. It says like MHG-11. It's like a little like sailor police officer like metal figure. It says on the back that this was actually made in West Germany. These are like pretty weird. So when I find like miniatures like this, I usually grab them because we're usually the only US seller. There's not that many people that have these particular miniatures. This one sold for $15. This just looks like more like a when you paint and display. I don't think you use this for like an actual game. I remember selling a bunch of these, but I think it was before we started the channel, I think. All right, next up we have, this is pretty cool, 8 Scooby-Doo Clue replacement parts right here. It's funny because Anetta's been watching a lot of Scooby-Doo. I think like the adult version or whatever, or the adult seasons or something. There was only like 2 seasons and they had to cancel it. So she's been watching that. So yeah, there's this. These aren't complete. So there's Scooby. I think there's Mrs. White. And then there's, oh my God, Daphne. Jeez, it took me a second. And then there's the 5 pieces or 4 pieces right there. So this is incomplete and it's still sold for $6. They're actually pretty good like Monopoly pieces. I actually like how they have the cardboard token inside of acrylic like little bar here thing, so it protects the actual characters. That's pretty cool. All right, moving along, we have something. I don't think I've shown too much of the stuff that we sold. We got a bunch of like Japanese like movie posters and stuff. Like I think this is just like their promotional stuff. We got it. This is for Tron. So there's like a movie poster. There's like a little booklet. So yeah, we got a bunch of these and they were all in Japanese. This ended up selling for $16.87. So that's pretty cool. I did list a bunch and we have sold them like at a slow pace. Definitely not too many people had that stuff out there. All right, moving along, we have a combo order. It is a game called Golem Arcana. This is Conspire Gudana, I think little set. So I'll explain this game in a second. Then there's Conspire Durrani right here. So I believe from this game, I remember this used to be at a convention a long time ago when it was like up and coming or new. And I think these have like bases that like scan into like a computer or something like that. So it was you're still playing the board, but then like it would track your movements. I think you need like a tablet and stuff like that. They were kind of like trying to do like next gen stuff for like what board games were at the time, miniatures games. So this game never landed, and it doesn't, like, these extra stuff don't sell like too high. So these 2 combo orders to repeat buyer was $21 and like 86 cents, which is pretty good for this stuff. It's, I mean, it's not too crazy, but yeah, to play like a full-fledged interesting game like this, I've never played it. I just saw it. It told you as much as I knew about it. They have like Egyptian themed and stuff, or at least this particular faction. So that's pretty cool that someone's going to like play it or enjoy it, or maybe they just like the miniatures. But yeah, there's like stats in the cards, and it's like a miniature game. I think I forgot to mention that. All right, next up, we have another hot topic item. I think we've gone through almost all of it. This is going to be a genuine leather, small, like the little spiky bracelets. If you're from like probably the 90s, you can probably remember this. People were wearing this all over the place. This is basically almost new or barely used. This sold for $16, which is pretty cool. Our other hot topic stuff sold for a little bit more, but this one, there's more people that had it, so it was worth a little bit less, like had it on eBay. All right, next up is a lot of 3 of these. What did I put down? Paris Vetro, made in Italy, glass blown round ornaments. They look like pretty cool. We got these like a lot of ornaments from an estate sale a bit ago. I've had these listed for a while. Of course, more of them sell around Christmas. Everything still sells like year round, but yeah, these ones are pretty cool. It's just 3 of them. They sold for $21, but yeah, they have like a lot of details and stuff, so I'm going to be really careful with them. All right, next up is going to be a poster. This is Paramedics Clear Smirk and Dagger Games board game poster. This is like a cool promotional one. I've never played this game. I don't recognize it, but yeah, this probably went to like a store and they never hung it up. So yeah, this one's pretty cool. If you like this game or this type of thing, it's a pretty cool one. This sold for $25.31, which is pretty good for like a poster and stuff like that. A lot of the price goes into the customer has to pay the shipping for the tubes and stuff like that. This one will probably be less of that. I'm being very gentle. All right, $25.31. All right, next up is a combo order for more Warhammer 40K bits and pieces. I've been showing these a lot. If you've been watching, I got a big bin at auction for $40. These each sold for $14, so that's what? $42 for these right here. They're just going to be different factions. It's really hard to show other than they're just bits and pieces. Chaos faction, Astartes. I don't know if I'm saying that right. 2 bags are Astartes or something like that, or Strates or something like that. Sorry if I'm misspeaking. I haven't seen that faction or sub-faction before, and that's probably the first bits of that particular faction we sold. And the last thing, and I learned something about this recently, is this is an empty Pokemon tin. This is Raikou. This is from 2010. We do pretty well with these old tins. People use them as like storage or for gifts and stuff like that. So the particular thing I learned about this one, or actually a previous sale, and then I know that's probably why this person bought it, is not... I was going through our positive feedback, and then someone told me that they straight up bought one of the tins, and they were really happy, by the way. It was positive feedback. They actually liked that it still had this like clear part inside that you can actually like put a card. So maybe they're going to like store like a card, and then it's kind of like a mini shadow box, right? Because it'd be displayed right there. That I wasn't like aware of that. Like, we've been selling the empty tins. I just wasn't aware of the extra layer of like someone might actually want like the little plastic thing inside. I should have known, and I should have thought about it, so it's pretty cool. I've never passed up the opportunity to grab these tins. I grab them how they are, which is usually empty. This one just happened to have the plastic in it. I had one other one that happened to have the plastic in it, which got the positive feedback, so it's cool. I learned a little bit more about the empty tin stuff. This sold for $10. Nothing too crazy, but this might be like a collectible or something. Someone likes the tin, they want to display a card, or they just want to use it to give a gift, like, put the card as a gift to someone. Who knows, but it's still now something I'm going to keep an eye out for, right? Someone specifically hunted down an empty tin with the plastic. All right, so that's everything. Like, the numbers and stuff are pretty good. There were a couple things that sold when I was on the back from the storage unit. There was some stuff that I started listing that Aneta got a long time ago. She got like a bunch of big trains, and then like miniature accessories, like little town stuff and baggies. I'm about to list all the baggies and stuff, but those are the last things I listed last night. One of them, I got an offer for $105 after our sale went through. It was at $169. I countered at $125, so I'm hoping, but maybe I should have taken the $105. I don't know. It's a pretty big train, so we'll see if that sells. If you see it in the video, it sold. If not, they didn't want to take my counter offer, but it did get like a watch or two pretty quickly, and we got a couple of those big ones, which is interesting because it's been sitting in my inventory for a long time. I just haven't gotten around to it because it's really obnoxious to store. It's like this. And generally I have like square boxes in some like 30 or so gallon tins, you know. I don't know how many gallons, but I have like 30 to 40 of those, but they've been pretty full. So that's why I haven't listed it. I just listed it and just haven't dealt with it yet. I just keep in here like right behind us. All right, so that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support us, take a look at the shop down below.